Hello, am I audible?
Hi, Sandeep.
Hi
Yeah,
Aditya.
you're very audible.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah,
audible to you?
yeah. Okay,
Okay. Wow. Hi.
so so shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So good evening, folks. I am Sumit Singhal, content head of Dushala Noida. Hope you guys are fit and healthy, doing great at your places. So you guys are being aware of the campaign going on, which is being organized by Edushala, Delhi NCR, and Strong She, which includes the various events like poster making, slogan writing, painting competition, and many more exquisite events. So, out of those various events, today we have our live session talk on LGBT community. Yeah, you guys have heard it right. LGBT community. The community which has its physical existence but merely palpable in the eyes of today's society. So, to discuss this issue, we have a member from that community. We guys, as you guys know, we have seen the discrimination on the basis of race, caste, creed, color, but before that we all fall or comes under the category of human beings. And if I talk about the human beings, we possess the emotions which make all of us unique. And as a human, suppose let's consider a paradigm to understand this thing better. If we guys are being ignored by one or two person, then how isolated, how neglected, how ramshackled we feel. But this community is being ignored by the whole society, which is a great matter of worry. So today, to discuss upon this issue, we have one of our community member whose name is Aditya. So we will be asking some questions to him. But before that, I want to tell you that it is not the kind beings who had took an initiative to promote this community. Recently, when I was reading the newspaper, I read a very beautiful article on this community where the Noida Metro Rail Corporation had took an initiative to change one of its metro station name, that is Noida Sector 50, to Rainbow Metro Station. Earlier, it was decided She-Man, but now they have changed to Rainbow Metro
Yeah, I heard
Station.
about that.
So it is, if you guys are not aware of this thing, you must be knowing the famous celebrity who is Vikas Gupta, Indian television producer, as well as the Big Boss contestant, who who has recently referred his audience that he belongs to bisexuality, and which is a very great thing, and which we can notice that the society is becoming modernized and as well as organized.
True.
So we have for this all these issues, or we will be asking the impediments what this LGBT community is facing. So today we have Aditya with us, to whom I will be asking some questions and will be raising the issues. He will be telling us the issues, the discrimination which these guys are facing in while living in today's scenario. So Aditya he had born in Delhi. He had been in many cities. Now currently residing in Chennai from last 2 years. Last 2 years. So Aditya, as I said, as we know, you have resided in many cities, and currently you are residing in Chennai.
Yeah.
So my first question is, like, if you had been in many cities, so the time you have faced any type of discrimination, the incident which is related to your experience, or any person who belongs to your community who is being discriminated by any other person or the society people, I would like you
Wow.
to
Okay.
share that incident.
So, so first of all, like a vote of thanks, yeah, for invitation to this platform, and I'm really honored to actually talk about, this
Yeah,
LGBT
yeah,
community
yeah.
issues on the platform. I'm really glad that you actually took it up as a campaign.
It's our pleasure to
So
it's our
thanks
pleasure.
to Mr. Ajay and the all associates in the
Yeah,
NGO, actually Edishala and Strongshi, and Kind Beings, obviously.
yeah,
So yeah, thanks. And I would start with basically telling you about Pride Month. Like, what is Pride Month, right?
yeah.
Sorry, my phone
It's
just fell.
it's okay, okay, okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So uh, June is celebrated as a Pride Month. Uh, for those who know, they know what it is. But for those
Okay.
who don't know, I would like to just tell you. This whole thing started in 1969 in June.
Yeah.
So there was this bar in New York City called
Yeah.
the Stonewall Inn,
Yes. Yes.
which was a safe space for the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Like people who could not express themselves outside or in the society, they would find a safe space in that particular bar. And at that point of time, I think police raids and brutality was very common in the United States, and homosexuality was still illegal there. So, but on this particular night, on 27th of June, 1969, uh, there was sort of a revolt against the police brutality
Yeah.
from the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
So that whole riot or uprising that led to the initiating of the movement, so-called gay rights movement against uh, like spreading awareness
Yes.
and becoming more inclusive, etc.
Yeah.
Across the whole world. Like it started from there. So
Okay.
that was so basically Pride Month is basically sort of like there are many events that happen across the world to sort of
Adi-
commemorate and in memory of that basically.
Aditya, Aditya, wait, wait, wait.
Yeah.
The guys are saying that your voice is echoing. Is
Is
it
it
like that? Yeah, just check your earphones.
is it better now?
Guys, is it better now or you should change?
Hello.
Still echoing, guys. The voice is still echoing.
Shanice is saying that she can't understand each of us. Like
Wait, wait,
neither
wait.
do
Let
we.
me check. Let me check. Let me check.
Yeah. Still not clear. Still echoing.
Let me check. Let me wait, wait, wait.
Okay. Do we need to rejoin? Is it still echoing?
Hey guys, now voice is clear.
It's Shani. Okay, sorry.
Our voice is clear now, guys.
It's echoing for me, I guess. I was worried about this.
No, it's okay. I think we should start.
It's fine
It's
now. It's
it's
fine
fine
now,
now.
I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
So I was telling you about how this
Yes.
Pride Month started as a celebration of LGBT rights.
Yes.
So it began with Stonewall riots and uprising in New York City in 19
Okay.
back in 1969, and that's where the community came together, and there was sense of community actually
Yeah.
in the whole LGBT sphere, and the gay rights it fueled the gay rights movement basically, and um so that's why it's so important this month. It's a
Mm,
commemoration of LGBTQ rights, and we
yeah.
remember the people who have actually stood for it and started the whole fight against brutality and
Yes.
stigma, etc. So yeah, it sort of became a festival because now people are so accepting
Yeah.
towards it, and
Yes.
it comes with a lot of positivity in the atmosphere, right? So we see it as a festival now more than like uh, 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 bad thing or something like that.
Okay.
So it's really great to actually contribute in some way for me. So it's really good. Thank you. And uh, I would like to, I think, mention a word of thanks to uh, Miss Guruswamy and Miss Kaju, who actually fought for, and there were many other people who actually fought for LGBT rights in India itself,
Yeah.
and homosexuality became like your sexual freedom was protected under the right to privacy. So that
Okay.
was a really like huge step towards this in India
This
itself.
cause, this cause, yeah.
So yeah. So that was a really good thing, and we have much more to like go ahead and fight for basically. So I'm really glad that you're doing this, and I hope it reaches the people who really need this. So yeah.
Yeah, it will be
About
shared on our channel. It will be seen by
yeah,
all the
so
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
so coming to your question about discrimination, that is like such a wow. When you told me about this interview, I was thinking like a couple of days. I was just thinking so many things. Like
Yeah.
I dealt with this like 3 years back, and since then have been like there's so many things that comes to my mind, and I actually want to put it out there. Uh, I just hope that everything goes across, or even if it doesn't, I'll probably just go to my post and send it across, or maybe do that. So and coming from, and I also feel like really, I feel I'm very privileged in a sense because I I'm open to my family and they're not against this, and I'm a cisgender person, so I don't like really have like different sexual behavior, no, different gender behavior, not
Yeah.
sexual behavior, gender behavior from the general public. So it's not been so difficult for me, but I understand. I totally like empathize with people who suffer
Who are
significant
suffering?
amount
Yeah.
of discrimination in the society. Uh, so I would really like to personally I believe transgender rights. I really believe in that, like because for transgender people, it's so let's start with the topic sexuality and gender and sex. Okay,
Okay.
so these are the things which are not talked about really in the society as much, and really misunderstood. There are so many misconceptions about it,
Yeah.
and it's really basic. It's very basic and simple. It's not very difficult to understand, really. Like
Yes.
even for a general public, if you're straight, if you're gay, if you're bisexual, if you're transgender, it's such a simple, natural expression of a human being. Sex,
Yeah.
sexuality, and gender. What is sex? Sex is basically your biological sex that has been, that you were born with.
Born with.
That is, yeah, that is sex. Yeah, maybe of one sex or the other. And gender is basically your own identification with your own like what is how do you identify yourself as
Our
your
identifications.
gender
Yeah.
behavior, your sexual behavior, your social behavior. And sexuality is a very vague term. It's like there's no particular definition to sexuality. It may be biological,
Mm.
erotic, I don't know, physical or spiritual. So understanding these terms is like generally people when we are kids, when we grow up, we
Mm.
don't understand these things very well. That is still okay when you're a kid and you don't understand and you make fun of things. That is understandable.
Understandable.
But when you grow up, when you become an adult,
Yeah.
I
Mature
mean, there
thinking.
is yeah, exactly. You have to, sort of widen your thinking. I mean,
Thinking. Yeah.
uh, they are it's not a binary thing. Sexuality, sex, or gender it is not binary. Nothing is binary in this whole world actually.
Yeah.
So it's it's very like sad that people actually believe that there should be a certain kind of a man or certain kind of a woman, and there's nothing else except that. So I feel sad when I see adults thinking that way,
Yeah.
and I really think that it's really important to educate, or maybe if people can empathize or think more, like widen their thinking and perception. It basically comes from their belief. Like if you can change your belief system, you can change your perception. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's really important to change your perception. I feel if you don't change your beliefs, you will never be able to change your perception.
Yeah. It's truth fact.
So it is important for people like us to come out and speak out. That's what I believe. And um, so I've covered these three terms. That is one thing I wanted to do. And based on this, like based on the ignorance
Mm. Yeah.
and based on not understanding what these three terms mean actually,
Yeah,
and how they can affect people. Uh, People have misconceptions. They have judgments against people. They're scared to
scared. Yeah,
talk to people. They are they don't understand things. When you don't understand something, you are scared of it. Basically, when
yeah, it's the right thing.
I read somebody's I saw somebody's video on your on Kind Being's profile. I think some very
Okay.
nicely it was put. When you don't understand a problem, you're scared of it. Like you don't want to deal with it, right? You don't like if I
Hmm.
get a math problem which I don't understand, I don't want to look at it. I
Yeah,
just want to stay away. So it's really important that it's not as simple as that. So it's really important that we do actually try to accept
yeah,
it.
yeah, we have to
And
face that challenge. Yes.
if you don't understand it, at least don't go about hating them.
Hating them. Yeah.
That
It's
is
just
really
like if you
important.
can't support
Yeah,
this, just go behind. Yeah.
yeah. So, but it's very simple to understand. So it's very easy to accept. That's what I feel because I started like I don't want to go personal about myself right now. Uh,
Okay.
so maybe later in course of this interview.
Yeah.
But it's not that difficult to understand sexuality and sex and gender. It's very simple, and you just have to be accepting towards what you see as different. Nature is very different until unless you appreciate uh, like, appreciate a difference. If you there's no fun without difference. If there'll be a difference, there is something to learn and something to appreciate. So that's I think that's about it. In terms of discrimination, coming back to your point, we have a lot of discrimination, a lot of discrimination. Um,
Yes.
we we as in personally for me the journey has been relatively quite simple. It's not been very discriminatory in nature.
Okay.
Not at least I have gotten subtle discrimination, like very subtle. Like somebody would say something very subtly, and I'll be hurt. कि ये कैसे इसने बोला type की चीज.
Hmm.
तो वो होता है. But significant discrimination I haven't faced. But people do like I said, like transgender people who like people somebody who who was born with a male sex organ and identifies as a female gender, or somebody who is feminine, like their their gender behavior
Hmm.
won't be certain way. I mean, they would be slightly different from the normal,
Normal
what
people.
we consider as
Yeah.
normal. I don't like the term normal because it is so like it is hurtful, but yeah, that's what I mean to say. I mean, it's very significantly difficult for them because uh, when I feel discriminated subtly also, I feel hurt. And I can't imagine like how a transgender person growing up would feel. Since childhood they've been this way, and they get a lot of stigma and a lot of discrimination. People don't want to talk to them, and they just marginalize people, and it's really really sad. I would actually really request Mr. Ajay to if they can start a different campaign for transgender people because they really really need to get ahead in the society, and because even if they're not coming for good backgrounds, generally they are very like disconnected from family. They are like they're not included in the society as much, and they are just simple human beings. I mean, I look at them, I have curiosity. Like I feel good. Like when I talk to them, I feel nice. When
Yeah.
some transgender woman comes to me and begs for money, I ask their name. I want to like know what they're doing. What is I don't understand why this gap is there. It should not be there, and we should make this a better place for transgender people also. So, and if we come to discrimination, I think jokes, slurs, these are like very common things in growing up when with people with different or alternate sexuality as such. So joking, bullying, uh, slurs from their friends, and harassment. These are the things which which are not very serious, which but also affect so much. Like if you see, it affects a lot, like on their psyche, and it gives them stress. They are rejected from family. That is the worst thing. Like like many of my friends, like I know, are not out to their family because they would feel so scared about it that they'll be rejected and they won't have the same status in their family as such, like what they have right now. Uh, so that's another thing. And at workplace, like, you get harassed at workplace. I mean,
Okay.
who cares about your sexuality at workplace? I mean, I go as an engineer. That is all. I don't bring my sexuality on my sleeve in my workplace.
And we are
If
being
you want
told that the
something,
and yes, we are being told that the workplace is the only place with a diversified society. But
now see, there is I think there are many corporates who are actually doing a very good job at this.
yeah,
But if you see pan India, I think there are so many companies which don't even have that, HR who would actually listen to your problems regarding this.
yeah,
I'm lucky to have such an HR that I actually don't face all this. But there are many corporates who would actually have social groups for LGBTQIA plus community. So that is it's changing, but then I think it needs to, like in metros. If you see, you have a lot of groups, support groups, NGOs working in metros.
mm,
But if you go down to like local levels in other cities, the society is same, right? You have the LGBT community everywhere, but they won't find the expression, they won't find the support, they won't find the safe space. So that is something to think about, I think. And yeah, work for.
okay.
Uh, Many people also get threatened, like they'll be like physically attacked. That also happens.
Uh,
I mean, I have never faced something like that, but it must be so traumatizing. I
yeah,
can feel that it's based on your behavior. I mean, you haven't done anything wrong to other people. Just
yes,
because you're different from them, they will get threatened. I don't know. I think the basis of this problem, I think, is something to do with the other person, not yourself. That's why
yeah,
I tell people that if you get bullied, if you get harassed, it's always the other person. It's not you. Don't ever blame yourself. It's always issues with the other person who can't deal with uh, their own issues. So there are many homophobic people who will be like scared of this shit, and they're actually closeted people, and they are actually bi-curious, and they can't deal with their feelings. it's
yeah,
it's more like that. So you should never ever blame yourself if you express yourself naturally, and if somebody else feels threatened, it's not your fault, not at all. Never think that. So uh, yeah, so discrimination uh, is very real, and it should be dealt with, and it can only be, I think, reduced or understood if people become more accepting. That's all. Right? I just
so
really hope that people see this,
see,
and it's
yeah,
not very difficult. That is the whole thing, is not difficult. It's very
difficult, yeah,
simple. You just have to understand, and maybe if you can read, it will be great. Otherwise, just listen to people. That is all. Like, you
okay,
appreciate the difference. That is the whole point of living this life on planet. I mean, there are so many different things around you. You should be curious about it rather than being hateful towards it, right? You should be
okay,
trying to understand, like, why, what, why this, why that, and then empathize. Basically, empathy is a really we really need empathy in this world.
okay.
And it's a very
S-
basic nature of a
Basic
human
nature,
being.
yes, yes. So Aditya, as we know, at the time of birth, we are not at all aware of our bisexuality. That's
Yeah, true.
yeah. So I would like to ask you that when did you realize about your sexuality?
So when did I realize that I was bisexual? It is a journey. I mean, it's not one point where you realize that you're a bisexual.
Yeah.
For me, uh, I can say when I took comfort in this particular label was when somewhere like maybe 1 or 2 years back. That's it. That's that. where I felt that this is what I am and this is what I am comfortable with and this is my label. Like, I am happy with this and
Yeah.
it's okay to be me and it's okay to be bisexual. That was like a couple of years back. That's all. But when did I realize I was quite curious or um, I had like attraction towards men? Um, So I'll have to I'll be a really detaily about this. Okay, don't mind.
And
I
it's
mean,
okay.
I'll have
It's
to
okay.
talk about my own experience.
Yeah.
So growing up, when I was in school, um, I I felt that I fell in love in class four. Okay,
Okay.
that was as early as class four.
Oh, very
I
early.
still remember that
Yeah.
that summer of '98. I saw this woman for the first time. She was sitting behind me in a school trip, and she was just kicking my back seat, like, and I was like so irritated and just looked at her and we started arguing and it went along and it turned into friendship and then I really started liking her. I had a strange pull towards her. I was attracted to her basically. So that's where I first, accessed and first understood what attraction is. And I fell in love with her afterwards and I became best friends with her and growing up I would really think about, I just want to be with this woman. And at the same time, I would feel attracted towards guys as well, but I never. It was very strange. I mean, I felt that okay, this guy is attractive, this
Okay.
girl is attractive.
Okay.
I would feel like that. Some girls I found attractive, some guys I found attractive, and that was it. Like I did not like really think about oh, I want to actually date this guy or I want to be intimate
Hmm.
with this person, because I was like this woman is my I want to go, I want
Yeah.
to be with her, and that's all I want to do. So. Uh, I didn't really, engage in that thinking. I did not let that thought go further in high school. Um, it was basically, I think it was driven out of again heteronormativity, which we have in the society.
Yeah. Which we have.
Like you, so if you feel something, if you feel you want to be intimate with a guy feels he wants to be intimate with a guy, it's a wrong thing to do. If a girl feels that way, it's a wrong thing to do. So I think that also led to it. I sort of did not I did not engage with that thought in my head so much. I left it. Like, I did not want to think about it because I was really interested in this woman. So that continued, yeah, until I think I had severe crush on girls, and I didn't never thought about being attracted to guys and doing something about it. Never ever. It didn't cross my mind also. But I was really empathetic towards guys who would. I knew a couple of guys who were into guys, and um, I did not feel hatred towards them. I felt it was I felt curious about them. Like I felt they are normal people like me, and that's all. And being being the way I was, like attracted to guys and girls both, I felt everyone was this way. Like, I did not feel that I'm something different. I knew what gay was. I knew
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
being gay was. Being gay was you were attracted to only guys. That's all.
Guys. Yes.
And I was constantly attracted to girls. So I really didn't. I thought that I was straight, and all the straight guys feel this way only. Because never had like anything to like really think about. So my whole like growing up went this way, and it was I think when I was 26, 26 years old, I was in Delhi at that time. By the way, I wasn't born in Delhi. I was born in Patna. You said I was born in Delhi, so I just wanted to correct that.
Okay.
But I'm basically from Delhi. I've lived most of my time, and I have a sense of belonging to Delhi. So yeah. So I was saying that I was in Delhi and my girlfriend was in the United States, and I do not have any friends in Delhi. I just have my cousin, and I did not like. I was unemployed at that time, and I was feeling very like low in my life. I did not know what to do, Um I was not like really strong enough, and I was not courageous enough to face my own issues. So I went into depression, I think, around that time, and I was reading a lot of news, current affairs, because I was studying for my government exams around that time. So I went on this article about this news, and there are certain like sponsored articles in the page you have, and
Yeah.
they are not really worthy of reading, but you anyway they have very flashy headlines and
Flashy
you click
headlines
on
and you
them.
go, you can't snap.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I clicked on one of them, and it was all about like Tinder, and how social dating apps are going on around the country, and how it's becoming popular. So I felt like maybe I read that article, and it told me how like people meet and make friends and stuff. So I was like, chalo, let's make friends in Delhi. कोई यहाँ पे है नहीं, कम से कम किसी से बात हो जाएगी. It will be a very good source of release for my stress. Like think of like I could
Yeah.
like tell somebody about how I'm feeling, and because I was not able to express myself completely with my ex-girlfriend and with my family, it was like I was blocked. Like I could not. They did not give me space to do that. Like, it's really important to give the other person space. Like my ex-girlfriend was like she had her own problems. She was just giving me
Yeah,
like
you
her
guys were having
problems and
your own
not listening to
problems.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
So I did not
So,
basically
guys,
get
so
space.
Aditya, just tell
Yeah.
us that when
Am I stretching it too long? So basically, listen. So basically, I
yeah,
went on this dating app, and then I
okay,
met this guy. Okay,
yes, yes,
he 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 sort of he was such a good like listener. Like he would ask me like a lot of questions about my personal like how I think and stuff, and I confided in him a lot about my life. And within one month we were just texting, and I met him, and I broke up with my girlfriend, and um he was into me, and he was attracted to me. So uh, we sort of got intimate, and I that was the first time I realized that I could enjoy being with a guy.
okay,
And it was after 26 years of my life. I mean, imagine like 26 years of my
yeah,
life, I felt I was straight.
straight,
And
yeah,
then this person comes along, and I enjoy this thing, and then I was like, what the hell? Like, what do I do with this? So I was like totally, and I was depressed also. So it was really like, it was very exhausting for me. And um, I, uh, I was, uh, I was just happy that that I could release this tension and the stress from my mind to him, and that's how I. And then this whole bisexuality thing came along, and I was still in love with my ex-girlfriend, and he would expect me to be in love with him, and I could not do that. I was not over my ex-girlfriend, and there's a lot of stress basically.
yeah,
And this is what happens to bisexual people in general. Like they don't. There's a lot of confusion in their head, like. Initially there is a confusion when you realize that you're a bisexual. You don't know. There's a constant tug of war inside your head, like uh, because of the heteronormative society we have. We It's like you have to choose a side. Either be with a man or be with a woman, which is very like stress. It is very stressful like for bisexual people, because they can't constantly like they can't decide it. It's not a decision they have to take. It's not a choice they have to make. If we
yes,
don't we find attraction to people irrespective of the gender of the person. So it was very traumatizing, and I had to like deal with it. And I went on, thanks to Google and YouTube. I was reading constantly, like reading things, and reading about how if you can love two people at the same time or something, things like that. Just
yeah,
bisexual people. What is this? What is that? And there were many like articles about it, and I'm really grateful to like have read them. And but I really, really think that the most difficult part was there was no one bisexual man, okay, who the Indian bisexual man who would be out and talking about these issues. I did
okay,
not find anybody, like not one. I was just searching everywhere where I could, find somebody who I can relate to.
yes,
So
yes,
it would be easier for me to just look up to somebody and be like, "Hani, he also feels the same way that I do, and he's an Indian person, and you can, more relate more to the person." So that is why I'm really glad that Vikas Gupta came out as bisexual right now, like very recently.
Yeah.
and he's a very popular personality, obviously in India, and it's really great of him to do that. Like, and I know how difficult it must be for him being a popular person, but thank God he's there now. So I really appreciate that. And coming to my story. It was difficult for a couple of years because my ex-boyfriend told me that maybe you're just gay and maybe it's a stopping point, and
Mm.
uh, you it may be just a phase and you might be straight, who knows, like just experimenting. So I decided not to tell everybody about it because I wasn't sure about my own sexuality at that time. It's really important to go and figure out. I really like urge people who feel this way to actually go and figure out. You will find answers. You just try things and be more accepting towards it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel anything wrong with you or something like that. Just explore your sexuality. It's not a bad thing to do. It's a very natural thing. So I took a couple of years to actually explore, and I met a lot of people. I met a lot of bisexual men for just coffee dates. Like I would just go on coffee and talk to them because I wanted that sense of support, like sense of community around me. Like there were
Yeah.
people around me like this. So I did that. There were married men who were out to their wives, and there were married men who were not out to their wives, closeted, and there were unmarried bisexual
Yes.
people. So I sort of sensed a lot of shame, a lot of stigma, a lot of um like I don't want to come out because of so and so. The society won't understand it, and people don't really appreciate these things and stuff like that. And it was very disheartening for me because I don't feel like I did not want to lie about myself to anybody. Uh, I have always like believed that one should be truthful to oneself and to others. So. I I immediately, like 3 months or 4 months went by when I had like first encounter with with this guy, and I came out to my brother. Like, I told him I was thinking, I think I'm bisexual. I think I have attraction towards men, and he was very supportive. He told me like, I have many bi friends. It's fine. It's totally cool. Just it's fine. Just don't have to be worried about it or stressful about it. And I felt very like settled in life at that time. And he told my parents apparently that I did not know. My parents.
So that's the
My
thing
parents.
that's the thing I want to ask, that in your whole
Yeah,
that phase where when you were suffering from all these phases, what was your
yeah.
parents' reaction? Was your parents supporting or supportive, or yes, you said that sometimes the people belonging to that sexuality
Yeah.
just have the feelings, and they are very scared to tell their family about this thing. So
Yeah,
any
it is
that
very scary.
yeah that so any that incident that you have faced, the parents' reaction when they got to know about your sexuality?
So my parents' reaction was, see, first of all, I did not come out to them.
Okay.
They initiated the conversation.
Yeah,
I was
it's
just having a. I told you I told my brother about it, and then he told
mm,
my parents apparently,
mm,
and we had a talk with them or something. So my parents, out of the blue on a lunch table, we were just sitting, and they just started like, I know what is happening in your life, and I know who this guy is, and you are seeing, and I know he's your boyfriend, and what is this and stuff. So they initiated the whole conversation, which I felt was really like progressive of them to do. They they were not at all unaccepting towards it. They were not at all like this is a wrong thing to do. They they were,
supportive
how
with
do I
their
put it? I can't say they were supportive with open arms.
okay.
That is also not true.
Yeah.
Uh, they just told me that we understand this. There are people like you, and we understand it. It's totally okay to feel what you're feeling. It's not a wrong thing. They never invalidated me. That is a really, like, at least I feel very grateful that they did that. They never invalidated me. They were like, this is okay. Like, so what? Like, but this is a very small aspect of what you are, and you don't have to be stressed about this. You don't have to pull yourself down, or you don't have to feel scared about this. uh, this is just one like aspect of your personality, just okay.
Mm.
And they were like, you are here to do better things, you are here to like do things. And generally, like, this is not only, this is not, don't make this as the center of your universe, which I actually did. They were like, this is not, this does not define you. There are more things to you than this, so don't be like over stressed about this. You can talk to us if you want to about this, there's no issue. But uh, it will be very hard life if you come out as an open bisexual person, because people with alternate sexuality do face a really, like, we all know that we face problems in Indian society at least. So they said what they had to say basically, and as guiding people and as parents, and I listened to them, and they did not like force me to be a certain way. So I took my own decisions, and I was like, I don't want to hide this. And
Yeah.
because I felt so much stigma and so much pressure, so much stressful, I was so much stressed, like, and I felt that this is really important for at least me to be out there, and I can, actually be the person who people can look up to, like other people struggling with this, So that was really like my point of view. Like I knew that I was normal, I knew that I was natural, and I knew that this is my expression, and I just wanted other people to know that. And because I did not find any bisexual man talking about this, it it made me take more onus towards this. Like, it made me feel more responsible that I have to do this. I have to come out. I have to, at least among my peers, I have to spread
To
awareness. So
confront your
yeah,
bisexuality. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I told my like best friend and anybody who I used to talk to, and sexuality would be a context in the conversation. I would tell them that I feel this way. Uh, I really wanted to be out to my. I told my ex-girlfriend, obviously, like, she understood. She was accepting towards it. Um, Again, so I told you my parents' reaction, but I would like to focus upon what uh, bisexuals have to face in general. Like, I, I, I'm not, I'm not really a counselor or a psycho. I haven't studied psychology so much, but I have a lot of experience where I come from, and I've retrospected, introspected so much and dealt with this. So I can talk from my own experience about bisexuality only. I know I told you that there are so many issues people face in the LGBTQIA
Mm.
umbrella, but coming from a bisexual, I can tell you things that I have faced in my life, and they have been quite subtle, very. It won't be a significant thing. Like, people won't hate you on your face so much. They would. I'll give you examples. Like, uh, somebody who's a bisexual would want your friends to understand, at least, and uh, i I heard, like, for example, I heard one of my friends telling, not me, another friend of mine in front of me, like, this guy is just sitting on the fence, he can't decide. And both people were straight people, and I just felt so hurtful, because this, first of all, you're not saying it to the person, uh, you know, this thing is addressed to. You should come and ask me if I'm sitting on the fence or not sitting on the fence.
Yes.
I would, clarify about it to you. But spreading this misinformation, your own misguided belief to another person, that is like really bad. That is how stigma gets propagated, basically. That is how misinformation gets propagated. Sorry. Uh, so that is one thing. Like, we are, bisexual people are not sitting on the fence. We don't have any fences in the garden. It's like that. We don't have fences. So that is one thing I think, uh, bi what we call it as biphobia. Like people don't understand bisexuality so much, even in the LGBT community. Um, I would give an example, like somebody whom I really liked told me a very subtle comment. It was something like, "I don't prefer dating bisexuals. I understand your preference. Okay, ठीक है, you prefer somebody, but not prefer dating bisexual is like you're not preferring a community. You know, if you can't, if you don't prefer dating me, it's fine. I mean, if you don't feel that way for me, it is okay. But don't put it that way. You know, you can't say like, oh, this community is something I don't want to date. It is very like it's hurtful. It's hurtful at a very basic level. So uh, these things people need to be sensitive about. That's what I feel like as a bisexual person.
Okay.
And thirdly, I'll give you another example, like about my ex-girlfriend. She was accepting towards the fact that I was bisexual. She's okay, fine, and it's okay. But she did not give me a space to actually raise my concerns. She was asking for, like, she was a straight woman, I think. So she was also confused. She's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't expect you to do this. I don't expect you to do that. Rather than listening to me, what I feel, you are, putting judgments in your own head and telling you that ये नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना, ऐसे नहीं करना, वैसे नहीं करना. So it's that happens a lot, like, because you don't try to understand the other person's perspective. So that is something that I needed to highlight. And um, generally in the straight community, if a bisexual man goes on to tell a girl, like for example, I'll give you my example. I really like this woman. I did not know her sexuality. I told her I really like you, and we are having a good conversation. And then once I told her that I was bisexual, the conversation just dried up. Like, it just evaporated. So that happens a lot. So it's very difficult, to.
Yeah.
So what this does is it makes me question my sexuality, and it makes me question if I'm doing something wrong because the other person is not accepting towards it. So it creates a phobia in my mind, and it will tell me that, oh, I should not come out as a bisexual because it's a wrong thing, or it will limit my experience of life, and that's why I would rather stay quiet about it. So yeah, I mean, that happens. And then if I like a boy, suppose, then the other person, the boy, generally the guys would be in disbelief that, okay, bisexuality does not exist. It's not a real thing, and you have to pick a side. All these things are there, like. But again, there are people who understand it, of course,
Yes.
and I'm really glad about that. There's good in society, and there's bad in society, and there's misinformation in society. What I really want to do is just clarify the misinformation,
Yeah.
and tell people to at least just be like empathetic. That is all. You just have to do that. And
So
um,
Aditya, I would like,
yeah,
as you belong to this community, I would like, and many people are very scared about exposing their own sexuality. So I want you to give a message to those people so that they can stand with their sexuality and have then and can live their life easily.
yeah. So you want me to like what? Say send a message or something? Or?
Yeah, yeah. I want you to send a message, or I want you to tell the people that being bisexual doesn't mean you have no, you don't at all have their own identity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I have seen, I'll tell you from my experience, what I felt was it's really okay to feel the way you feel, and if you feel that you're bi-curious, or if you feel that you have curiosity in the same gender, um, just go for it. Like, just try it. I mean, uh, it's not a wrong thing to do. If you experiment, if you explore, you will learn things. You will definitely get your answers. So you don't have to like get bogged down by the stigma in the society. It's a very natural expression. Like, sexuality is a very basic natural expression of a human being, and you should never feel stigmatic about it. Like, that's what I feel. And I would tell every bisexual person, if they are dealing with this, then just don't give attention to people, what other people tell you about yourself. Like, believe in yourself, and whatever you're feeling, it's very natural, and um, you don't have to think that it's wrong in any way. Just be natural about it. Be okay with it. Believe in yourself and trust your judgments. And I think you will find an answer in the end. That's what. And you have to really explore and um, find a safe space. That is very important. I really missed out on that. You have to find a safe space to talk about this, because if you're okay with telling your parents about it, if you're okay with telling your friends about it, if you're okay with telling anyone, it just you have to you should get a sense of support. And I think that will nobody can fight a battle alone. Like, you
Yeah.
need support for fighting these unnecessary stigmas. So yeah, that's what I would like to say to bisexual people. Yeah.
So, uh, Aditya, we would like to end our conversation. So, guys, am I audible? Am I audible, Aditya?
I hello. I
Hello. Yes.
I
Yes.
would like to actually
Okay.
yeah, just say something more. Can I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. You can just
Is there time?
try to finish it early. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what I feel today's problem is in the world. I think we are very quick to judge people. Like, you're very quick to judge. This is right. This is wrong. This is correct. This is incorrect. This is
Yes.
what is natural. This is unnatural. This is this. This is that. We don't actually go into the root cause of the problems. Like,
Yes.
why somebody behaves the way they behave, what it comes from. Uh, it's very like forget sexuality, like think like rapes. In a country, why people become rapists. So that mindset, you have to go to the root of the problem. You
Who are
have
the
to
root
understand.
cause?
don't
Yes.
don't become a, like, एक सेकंड में क्रिटिक कर दिया कि ये सही है, ये गलत है, ये ऐसे होना चाहिए, वो ऐसा होना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. That's what I feel. Then only you will find the actual, you will get the root of the problem. And I think everyone should realize everyone is different, and everybody is different, and you should appreciate everyone for their for everything. Like, you don't have to judge somebody for their basic thing as sexuality or gender. Uh, it's very disheartening. And I feel exploration is okay, and if you want to explore, you should explore. uh, Another thing, yeah, the most important point to my straight friends, and like you, yeah. So you need to what you need to do is become an ally. An ally is LGBTQIA plus ally is a person who doesn't actually belong to the community, but would stand and support and listen to you, and be there for, like, feel sensitive towards the cause of the LGBTQIA issues, you know. So it's really important that we gather and we spread awareness. And if straight people can do that, that would be really, really helpful. And I have straight friends who do that, and who are sensitive to our problems, and that would be really nice. Listen, stand, and support. Listen,
Yes.
stand, and support.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that is one thing. And LGBTQIA plus के लिए बस यही है: exist, persist, and resist. These three things are really important. You have to exist, persist, and
Yeah.
resist. You have to believe in yourself. Like, it's really important. And therapy is something I wanted to, like, highlight here. Uh, there are many people who say therapy is really helpful, and there are many people who say therapy isn't. I feel therapy is very helpful for somebody who would, feel dysfunctional and can't, move on with their lives because of the stress and depression they are dealing with. But I, for me personally, therapy did not help me out. the first therapist I went to, he diagnosed me of bipolar disorder, and he gave me medication for it, and I could not deal with the medication because it just made me sleepy. I could not like feel myself. So, and second therapist then I went to, I thought maybe this guy's approach was different. Maybe this guy will help me out. So
Okay.
I went to a second therapist. He diagnosed me of acute schizophrenia or something like psychotic disorder or something like that. So I felt really like I was like, okay, I may be all of that, but I really don't need like need to like shut my mind because of the medications I'm getting. If I was functional, I was not dysfunctional. I would really prescribe therapy to people who are actually dysfunctional and can't deal with their lives. But uh, I personally feel what therapy does is just generally most. I went to the best hospitals in Delhi for this, but they would listen to you and they will just try and diagnose and come to the problem and be like, you take the medication and take this and just go on with it eliminates your problem in your mind. But for me, it's like depression is a spiritual call from my soul. It's it helps me tell me that something is not right with what I'm doing. If I go in depression, I feel that my soul is not happy right now because something is not going right in my life, right? And I would try and deal with it myself. When you seek within, you will find all the courage you need. That is what I feel. You everything that is needed for you to actually be courageous and face your battles, they're there inside you. You have to just seek it. That is all. You just have to seek with it, and it will help you grow and blossom into a more mature person. So that's what I did, like for myself. I did not go for medications because it did not help me out very well. So I sort of thought that I should experience things on myself and just think about things. Everything is like I always feel it's better to look within, and that's how you understand life outside. So that is what my funda is. And last thing, in the end, I would just like to say that to everyone, if you belong to LGBTQIA plus or not, I think it's just so important to live your life inclusively, like be inclusive to everyone, and not get stuck in the like war between like what is good, what is bad, what is this, what is
Hmm.
that. Just be accepting and inclusive towards everyone. I have i have grown from a much less inclusive person to a much more inclusive person, and I'm sure everyone can do that. Like if I can do it, I think everyone can do
Everyone
it.
can
It's
do
like
it.
that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
Aditya, thanks a lot to join us.
There are so many things
And
I want to say. Like I was thinking about like 2 days. I
yeah,
was thinking this I'll say, this I'll say, this I'll say, but yeah,
but
it
we have
doesn't
the
come
limited
across.
yeah.
I don't even remember it right now.
Yeah.
I'll put it across later, maybe
So
And I would request anyone who's listening to this, they can DM me anytime. I talk to a lot of people on my Instagram, and I really feel for the cause, and I really like feel that everyone should have a listening ear for the problems, and yeah,
yeah.
so, that's it.